out of the stormwater to 240,000. Water and sewer, total of all accounts, $4,556,617. We brought in $200,708 more in 25 than we did in 24. We spent $69,256 more in 24 than we did in 25. Okay, our ARP funds, you see, you've got your list on that. We're still working on spending the money, or we can have it spent by next December.
Are we gonna receive more money on that?
On what, on the ARP? We get interest, we get interest on that, that's why it.
ARP is done, it's, you know, all
I
that.
thought we get another check.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we got 2 checks altogether, 3 million and something.
So we already got all that spent.
Well, it had to be allocated by December this past year. I don't know if y'all remember, by December 24th, we had to have a PO or a contract.
24.
Yeah, but it had to be allocated by 24. It's got to be spent by June of 26. Yeah.
Stormwater,
So Janet, you finally got a better rate on that money, didn't you? I appreciate that.
on stormwater, our cash account's $395,615. We brought in $10,170 more in 25 than we did in 24. We spent we spent $36,991 more in 25 than we did in 24. 2% hospitality. Our total cash accounts is $1,248,452. We brought in $1,311 more in 25 than we did in 24. We spent $59,850 more in 25 than we did in 24. And the air conditioners, they put those units up, everything's installed there. Golf course, our cash account $17,685. We brought in $58,106 more in 25 than we did in 24. We spent $62,052 more in 25 than we did in 24. And the state fund expenses are not included in that. And that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Questions? Ms. Moody, downtown coordinator.
Mayor, thank you for the kind words for Celebrate Main Street. It really was a great day for everybody. I've always been very appreciative of all the staff support that's always received for this event, and as well as all the other ones, but this is the first time I actually worked so closely with the police department. Monroe Herring was my go-to for the day, and Ricky Day, and all the other staff was phenomenal with the day before, getting the streets marked out until the full day. They were there from the very beginning with me, pretty much, I guess, about 9, until the very, very end, and even past that. So overall, I think it was hugely successful. Johnny and I are already starting to plan next year with the new pavilion. We would like to do a concert on Friday night. Go back to the barbecue contest it used to be. I could never figure out why it has any barbecue vendors. Well, I guess it used to be a barbecue contest, come to find out after 4 years. So we will probably instigate that again next year with either the whole hog or a pig rear end. So have some sort of barbecue contest throughout the evening. And then the next day they'll have the judging and the winners and all that kind of stuff. So it'll end up being a 2-day festival as opposed to a 1-day festival. The mural, what was interesting about that was when I went there to set it up and get ready for everybody to show up for the dedication, a woman happened to be standing there, and I said, "Hey, are you here for the dedication?" She had no idea what was going on. She just happened to stop and look at the mural because she was so impressed with it. She and her husband were traveling from Delaware to Georgia for a wedding, saw it driving through town, stopped to take a picture. Before you knew it, she was in the pictures with us. We got to know her and her husband. She ended up coming to Visitor Center. She looked at all the different murals downtown and stopped at the Red Cardinal and got something to drink. So, just because of that mural, it has stopped 2 people I know for sure, because I interacted with them for about an hour during the whole process. So it is definitely doing what it's supposed to. Jennifer and I are working on placards for all the murals and a mural trail. We'll be talking to the web designer so we can get a new page so people can actually access the murals and see the trail and go to a QR code snap by the mural and learn about the different murals and then all the different artists as well. So hopefully we'll have that done next month. I do want to thank Jennifer for the event parking. I know this is part of your packet, and to you it might not look very much, but we have a lot of people that always park in the buffet lot. And before we got all the questions about where are we going to park, we decided to be a little proactive, or Jennifer did, and give them a list on Facebook as to where they could park. And there are numerous places, and we had a couple people ask questions, but I think it really did help people understanding that parking is really not the problem. There's places to park. You might have to walk just a little bit, but you know, once they're identified, we really had such a great showing for First Friday that it didn't actually hinder the event at all. And I think moving forward with that as well, so long as we, with the public, help them identify where it can be, and this will be in the Celebrate Maine information next year where they can park. Maybe some shuttles one day down the road if we get that big. That's the plan. Councilman David, last month you asked me a question about brick and mortar restaurants and events, and what we do to support them, and I don't think my answer was as it should have been. So looking back, I kind of thought about it for the next week or so, and we have actually included Southern Fried, the Mexican restaurant, Edna's Kitchen, King's Famous Pizza, in some of the postcards that we actually created and hand out to visitors when they come in. We did this with Ashley Phillips when she was here. On our newsletter, there was always a listing of the restaurants. We've actually linked that to our website now, and all those restaurants are listed on there as well. So we do a pretty far reach. We have to kind of stop it at some point, but those restaurants are identified on here. I did talk a little more with Ronnie Ortiz with DHEC, and it is true that a restaurant cannot come to a special event and sell. The only way they can sell food is to go to another brick and mortar and use that facility. Catering's a little bit differently because we would typically pay a caterer of hand up front and they would be able to serve. So it's a little different between a restaurant and a caterer. But like King's, we didn't have them come out and actually set up a table, or Edna's or anything like that. Now we have used Edna's Kitchen for a number of promotions with the mural in Lockerbie Courtyard, and then also we use them for Chit Chat and Shoe as well. Southern Fried, we just interacted with them at other meetings and things like that there. So we do make a point to use some of the other ones around. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that just a little bit. Last thing, this past Saturday, Philip Urch from Storyville, he's a photographer from Wisconsin that came out a few months ago. That story sprint that he did was a charge to the city to get him here, but we were a part of a grant with the Municipal Association, and they brought him here again this last Saturday. And we had him focus on a number of businesses in the area. Brian Braddock was here, who's purchased and working on the 5 buildings downtown, although his buildings aren't open. We got some great pictures of him working and cleaning and talking about his vision of what he sees downtown. Craig Bradsher is one of an amazing artists that we have in the visitor center. I bought 2 of her paintings. I think she's fabulous, so she was photographed. The Sweet Joe's Locks and Lineups, if you guys know Sweet Joe, she's definitely a force to be reckoned with here in town. Stephanie Mitchell with the kitchen. He did visit all of our murals. We do want to actually have postcards made from our murals and some prints as well, especially of the train. We've had some people come to the visitor center and ask for those. Fitness by Corey, Southern Sassy was involved. Hightower Thrift Shop, Red Cardinal Coffee Shop, AJ Hem Home Health, the Mexican restaurants, and then the Color Haven actually got some photos as well. Not a lot of businesses are open on Saturdays, so we had to kind of pull from other areas, and so I think that'll be a successful marketing campaign for those businesses as well. We should have those photos put in soon.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you, Ms. Moody. All right, Ann Hyler with Tree City USA. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Oh,
Stephanie
no,
Mitchell
it's
with
very
DCA.
nice. It's still, yeah, it requires. Yeah. So, last year, I came, met Stephanie Mitchell and Mayor McCall before, I think you were mayor
Yes, ma'am.
at that time. So, Dillon has been a Tree City USA for a while, for a number of years. They've lost it, and probably just shortage of staff. Tree City USA is an Arbor Day Foundation program. Cities apply for it. They have 4 standards. I don't know best how to arrange everybody. If you all want to come on down, or we will move over. So City Council
She
needs
wants
to
a
be in.
photo op Can they
Yes.
just stand up behind us here?
Yes, they can stand up behind. You can get that in there. 18 years. So, Arbor Day Foundation requires a public tree ordinance, which Dillon definitely has, and a really nice one. A tree board, which is volunteers who assist the city with trees, pay $2 per capita on all tree expenses, and Mayor McCall this year will celebrate an
Got
Arbor
it.
Day, sign the proclamation.
Thank you.
So, I just wanted to say it's not easy. A number of cities have lost it and had to regain it. Sherrall was the first in the state. They lost it for a couple of years. Now Columbia is the longest on that. So I just wanted to thank Stephanie, Mayor McCall, Burt Rogers, everybody for stepping up on this. It is extra. You can hear how much work the city is doing, hands-on work, important work, streets, and all of the monies and getting balanced budgets, and this is something extra. This is actually more work. Stephanie Mitchell has been huge on this, massive and huge. And I wanted to say, before I go through Stephanie Mitchell, they received, City of Dillon received a 2-year grant from us to help with the urban forests in the city of Dillon. Tree canopy map, work with the public tree ordinances, and soon in the fall of this year, the spring of 2026 and the fall of 2026, there should be a bunch of tree plantings in the city, in public areas. Anybody, we are here to have community involved. The more community, the better. Anybody interested in informing people where they want trees to be planted, schools, churches, streets, parks.
What size trees are you putting?
We would be probably putting in ball and burlap or 15-gallon at the smallest. Tree giveaways would probably be 7-gallon or less. 15-gallon is pretty big for one person to drag around their yard and plant. So it's normally 7-gallon and less. But the grant pays for all the trees. We will need, as I mentioned, Mr. Rogers, we will need with the ball and burlap an excavator or track hoe to help us dig, because ball and burlap, those roots are a couple 100 pounds or more, and the trees are probably about 8-10 feet tall. You won't get many people volunteering trying to pick that up and put it in a hole. So this grant at this stage definitely requires community involvement. Anybody, if you would like a tree in front of your yard, Stephanie, Mayor McCall, Burt Rogers, let them know. We will have open houses, we will have tree giveaways once this gets started, but for Dillon to get a 2-year grant, and again, Stephanie Mitchell led the way, so I wanted to say just thank you. Regaining Tree City is huge work, and getting this 2-year grant is massive, massive work, so, all right, Dillon.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't
Thank you.
have to have hybrid dogwoods, do you?
That would be depending upon what we could get at nurseries. The number of dogwoods are not doing very well.
Well, not, they all did around here,
Yeah.
but the hybrids.
Hybrids are good.
It depends. If you're talking, if they're hybrids with cousas, drought tolerance is not one of the things they're better at.
Not good in this area.
Dogwoods definitely, it's just getting too hot. And a lot of nurseries are struggling with producing dogwoods because of the vascular streak disease is going through those and redbuds and a few others, which is not what we can talk about. But I am a certified arborist. If you do have any questions about tree species to be planted here, please contact me. I work for the state, so I am free. All right? All right.
I do want to thank you for coming out, and I want to thank Stephanie for the tree grant and working with us getting reestablished as Tree City
Yes.
USA. It's not an easy deal
It
to
is
keep
not.
up, and it's even harder deal to get reestablished. So thank you very much for that, and thank you for the tree grant. This is a really big deal. A lot of trees are very expensive, and we have, what, an hour-and-a-half meeting every month?
Yes.
The crowd comes in.
And anybody,
Anyone likes to
you are
come to that
all
meeting?
invited. to
Talk
come.
about trees for an
Yes.
hour and a half.
Well, okay. Yeah, now you're scaring me. Yes, if we had sort of said free beer, we might get more in, but,
We
yeah.
do meet before lunch.
Okay, yeah, you won't. All right, but anyway.
Thank you, Ms. Ann.
All right,
Yes,
thank you, all right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay, thank you.
All right, citizens report. We have anything out there? Anybody got any comments?
Do you want me to
Yeah, I
say
got
just-
something I'd like to say.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Mr. Allen.
I want to speak to y'all about this ordinance we have on the books about, anything over $25,000 that the bids have to be open in front of the city council. Now, I know last meeting y'all let Bert open up the bids, and that's a violation of the ordinance that we have on the books. We passed it last year when I was on the council with y'all. So I would ask that you go back and.
That was for state funds, Johnny.
You have to look at the ordinance, anything over $25,000.
Yeah, but not if it's state funds.
Well, what I like you to do is go back and look at it, and, I'll come and talk to you, whatever, but I think anything over $25,000, even though you got money from Jackie,
Yeah,
still,
I'm
the
pretty
bid
sure that-
came over the 200,000 threshold, correct?
Yeah, it's 248,000.
Where'd you get the other $48,000 from?
Yes, we had $310,000 in earmarks, so the bid came in under our allotted budget.
What I'd like for the council to look at the ordinance. If I'm not mistaken, the ordinance does say that you have to open up the bids in front of the city council.
Not if it's state earmark money, it's only if it's our money. If it's state money, you follow state procurement policy.
Like I said, I can go back and forth, because I'm not here to go back and forth.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue anyway. but
Just like to look at it, and I'd ask Janet to look at it too, we'll stay in touch.
Okay, thanks.
All right, what else you got? What else we got? Thank you, Mr. Allen. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Carlos Roundtree. I'm standing on representing a lot of the food trucks and stuff. And I graduated here. I graduated here in 1994. And so, and I want to thank Lisa also for the great work she's been doing with a lot of the events and things that she's been putting on. One of the things I want to say is that we're not trying to be a nuisance. I think a lot of times, like food trucks can be looked at as a nuisance. And I'm not saying that that's what's taking place. But the thing is that, you see a face. I represent a food truck. Some of these people represent a food truck. And it's nothing that we do for fun. It's how I make a living. I left a job making right at $100,000 a year last year just to pursue this right here. And so it's been a challenge. It's challenging. And so therefore, and plus the things that we have to do, I mean, we're making sure that we're following protocol and making sure we have to follow protocol. And you have people in place and honestly, they're doing an awesome job making sure that we're following the protocol that we have to follow and making sure that we're getting the licenses that we have to obtain and whatever the city, because different cities specify certain things and we have to make sure that we're meeting those specs. And so and I want to thank you for the great work you've been doing. And I really believe that a lot of the food trucks that's here, I think it's beneficial. I think it brings the community together to a lot of the events and stuff that we have. And it's how we make a living. And one of the things that we try not to do, we try not to, I know for myself in particular, we try not to overwhelm one area because we want to make sure that we are mindful of those that do have brick and mortars and things of that nature, because we're not trying to take anything away from the people that do have the brick and mortars and so forth, because I understand they're paying the taxes and that's how they make their living also. But however, I do believe that there's enough for everybody. I go down the street and I see McDonald's and I see Hardee's right across the road from each other. I see Wendy's and I see Burger King right down the road from each other. I see chicken, KFC, and I see Bojangles. They right across the road from each other. And I believe it's enough for everyone here. I don't really believe that what I'm doing is taking food out of no one's mouth. And the thing is that it's hard work that we have to put in. I have to work hard. There are days that I want to give up. And there are times I think about getting a brick and mortar, but because of the work that I'm putting in, if it's anything like what I'm doing now, I don't know if I want to step into a brick and mortar, because it's a lot of work. But I do appreciate the city for allowing us to be able to come and to set up our businesses and be able to generate the funds that we need to take care of our families. But at the same time, we do have to pay our hospitality taxes and so forth also. So, I mean, we try to make sure that we're following the guidelines that we're supposed to be following and not being a nuisance to those that have businesses, brick and mortars. Because one of the things that I believe, in order for you to grow a business, there have to be consistency. And you have to be consistent in what it is that you're doing. And there are a lot of times that I drive around and I do look at a lot of the businesses that do complain, and sometimes I don't see consistency there. And one of the things that I have to do, even when I'm tired and even when I don't want to go, I have to go. I have to remain consistent. If I'm gonna grow a business, my business will never grow if I'm not consistent. And I have to be consistent at what I'm doing. And thank God that our business is growing. And it's not because of what I'm doing, it's because of God has been blessing me and word of mouth. I've never advertised anything that I did. Never. It's about word of mouth. It's spread. Things have spread, and things for us have grown through that matter, and due to the fact that the events that you've been putting on, we've been able to get our name out there. And I want to appreciate you guys for that, for everything that you guys have done. So I do want to show my appreciation. I think everyone here wants to show their appreciation also, because we're not doing it out here. We're not doing it out here just to be a leech and suck the community or suck the city dry. That's not our plan. Those are not our intentions, because we go to different cities. We have schools that call on us. We have other communities. We have other cities. We have plants that call on us and wanted us to come out to different locations and things of that nature. So I'm in North Carolina, different other places. But I try to come here because people call and they ask us to come. So therefore, we try to be here and try to serve the community, because I want to make sure that what we're presenting, because we're selling attitude. We're selling not just slapping stuff together and giving it to people. That's a service. We're serving quality and want to make sure that we're giving people what they deserve. I go to other restaurants. I'm not going to say the name, but I go to different restaurants and what I get is not what I pay for, is not what I receive. A lot of times I'm getting it cold, but one of the things that we try to do, we try to make sure that when I'm serving you, we're trying to serve you with a beautiful attitude. Because I think it makes a difference. When you eating something and you put your money, you pay your money for it, I believe it really matters how I'm giving you your food or how I'm serving you your food. And then whether or not I'm clean and things of that nature. And that you guys have people in place to make sure that we're following those guidelines and things of that nature, DHEC and so forth and so on. So, I want to thank you guys for that. But I just want to let you guys know that we're not trying to be a nuisance to what's taking place here. We're trying to make sure, and plus we give back. We try to make sure that we're giving back to people that are less fortunate and things of that nature. So, it's different things that we do. And so, but I want to let you guys know that we're not here to be a nuisance. We're trying to make a living just like anyone else. And I really believe that there is enough for everyone here. And and I'm not against nobody. I want everyone to succeed. That's one of the things I love about businesses. Whenever we go to an event, my heart and my desire is that everyone succeed and everyone excel in what they do. I'm not the type of person to pull people down. It's not who I am, because I really believe what's for me will be for me. If they don't come to my truck, it's well. It wasn't meant for them to come to my truck. If they go to someone else's truck, I don't have an issue with that, because whatever's for me, it'll be for me. It'll be there when I need it. And that's what I believe. I believe God has carried me this far. He'll continue to carry me. And I just want to thank you guys, and I want you guys to know that I appreciate everything. Bert Rogers, it's good to see you, man. Fellow graduate. So it's good to see you. Don't really see many graduates and stuff of that nature, but I really appreciate you guys for everything. I thank you guys for your time, and I hope that I did this justice. But I thank you guys. I really thank God. I thank you guys for everything that you guys do for this area, for this community. There is a lot that go on. There's a lot of craziness that go on, and I really believe that whenever we have something of this nature and we have something positive, something that the city can look forward to coming out to, because we get a lot of negative publicity as it is. But when we have something that's beautiful, and we all can come together as one and function as one and be one and not be divided, I believe it's a beautiful thing. And I just want you guys to know that we appreciate that and just keep up the good work. Thank you guys so much.
Mr. Roundtree, thank you very much.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I have two quick things. Excuse my attire, we got nursing home week and it's tie-dye day. And I'm on my lunch
I love
break.
tie-dye.
Well, while I was out campaigning, there was a couple of issues that came about for my district. One issue was Rosewood. They do not have a bus stop. Other apartment complexes have bus stops. They have to walk all the way to the post office just to catch the RTA bus or whatever. So they was wondering, could that be looked into, them getting a bus stop to stop through their apartment complex? Because some of the elderly, they do have to walk all the way to the post office, if it's raining, whatever, just to catch the bus. And there's other apartment complexes that do have their stop right there. So if we can look into that as council.
Burke, I think Burke's writing them down right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And another
Check
wonderful
into it.
thing, I think back on the February council meeting when we was talking about doing the expansion at the wellness center for playground and this and that. Well, I wanna bring up, I have a 4-year-old nonverbal autistic grandson. And when he was getting physical therapy, the physical therapist would ask, can you meet me at a park? Could you meet me at somewhere? And I felt kind of bad because there really wasn't a lot for her to meet us at in Dillon. So we always had to drive to Florence for good stuff for them. So if we can look at doing maybe something sensory for those with autism, for those who have to have therapy, some more stuff out there at the wellness center. Because we would meet her out there, but it was very limited things that she could do with my grandson out there, maybe just a swing here, a swing there. But if we can get maybe a wheelchair swing out there, an autism sensory corner for the kids, something that we can look into that, because a lot of people are moving to Florence or having to drive to Florence for therapies, for all of that going on, because I'm one of them. I do it for my grandson. I get off work sometimes 7 o'clock in the morning and have to drive him all the way to Florence for therapies because there's really not a lot around here. And that's what a lot of the therapists are complaining about. Even those that live here in Dillon are saying that, you know, they have to go to Florence or they have to take their patients over there. So that's one thing I would like for everybody to really look into, instead of doing the natural looking playground stuff that they talked about at the council meeting. Maybe we can look at something more for disabled kids and disability, because Dillon is progressing, but we gotta progress for everybody,
I think
not
Burke was
just a
writing-
certain.
Burke was making notes about what all you said there also.
We'll check.
Yeah, we definitely need to progress for everybody, because that's what's pulling a lot of people away from Dillon, because there's not a lot for autistic kids, there's not a lot for disabled kids.
Right.
They just go sit at a workshop and play with stuff, but there's nothing for them to do extracurricular when they leave there. So I think that would be a great thing to have in Dillon. And the bus stop, don't forget the bus stop.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Moving right into old business. We don't have any old business, so we'll move into new business. Resolution 04-25 to acknowledge the city of Dillon's commitment to a safe workplace. Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Discussion?
It's just a kind of state mandate.
Oh, yeah, it's part of our, loss control report that we have to do, we have to acknowledge, provide a safe workplace to the employees.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ordinance 25-2 to amend the City of Dillon's Code of Ordinance Title I, Chapter 5, Article B, Section 32, 33, 34A.
So what this is an ordinance, procurement ordinance, where our procurement ordinance in the past said you had to have written bids. It was $7,000 to $24,999, 3 written quotes. I would recommend to change that to $34,999. And the reason is just inflation prices. I mean, it's everything you buy is just, it's continually, the numbers changing. Make it a little bit easier on our end, and anything 35,000, it was 25,000 and above, I recommend 35,000 and above. And this requires that we purchases be advertised formally through local press, publication, and South Carolina Business Opportunities, and related trade journals or other similarities. And this will continue to, anything that's over that, you'll have to have sealed bids